G'day folks, this is a little Honda G42 engine that I have driving a water pump. The water pump itself works just fine, but the engine has really bad rings and probably bad bore according to the person who first looked at it. I'm going to give it a really good thorough clean up and tear down. Probably end up taking the entire bottom end apart and everything, make sure the rings aren't stuck or collapsed. The guy who looked at it's pretty cluey about these things and seems to think the bore's bad, and he's obviously had the head off because he's stuck it on with Loctite crap, so it's going to tear the head gasket apart when I take it off. But doesn't mean I can't get another one, clean it all up. But right now she's not very healthy. My previous video will show that, blowing smoke everywhere. Very hard to start. So what I'm going to do is tear it apart. Yeah, I think there's a bit of oil in the cylinder. A lot of oil. The head's clean. I know who took it off. Did a bit of a good job cleaning it up, but well, not the best though. I use Loctite gasket sealant on the head gasket too, so there's muck everywhere. Oh shit, this thing's had water in it. Oh, that's not nice. That's the bottom of the stroke. Very short stroke. Which is, yeah, not very scored, but it's just had water in it. No real step in the bore. She might come clean with good honing and new rings. You can feel it grinding. So the rings are either frozen in with rust or they're just worn out. I'm trying to hone that rust out. That's why she's smoking. Yep. I'll take it apart, give it a good hone, new ring set, relap the valves, and that'll be about it. And the valve seats look nice though. Might not even need that. Oh well. Thanks for watching folks. This one is a fixer, but don't know for how long it'll last. Well, the pump housing was frozen together. Not anymore. Slightly going everywhere. But that's a good sign that things are coming together. Or rather, coming apart. Last thing I need is something frozen together. That's a bit better. The truss plate, or whatever they call it. It's the Impeller, solid bronze. And there's a nut on it. That's why I can't take the engine off just yet. The pump has to come apart before the engine comes off. Oh well. Good to tear this whole thing apart, and it's got to do it. There's a rubber O-ring in there. I can order one of them. Reseal it, hopefully. So the housing's pretty well eaten out. But either way, this thing will run again. And it'll run quite well. Well, that sure didn't want to come off, but a good few blows from the hammer and the big lever and oh, it came off. The old seal. Doesn't matter if it leaks a tiny bit, it's only a bloody fire pump. As long as it doesn't get into the motor, that's all. Corroded though. Bronze impeller. got the ignition coil and everything inside the flywheel. Unlike the Villiers, there's only one way the flywheel can go back on because there's a shaft key. Kind of handy. It's like we've got 4 permanent magnets. Points and everything must be inside there. There's a condenser and the coil itself. Pretty straightforward. There's a points adjustment. Unfortunately, the whole lot has to come apart before I can take this engine apart, or at least open the crankcase, because it comes off about there and lifts up. Where the join line is. Not like a Briggs where you can take one end off and access the conrod and everything. A bit of a bugger, the old Hondas, but bloody nice. I almost bought a Honda CR-V until I lost my job a day before I actually signed the paperwork on the thing. I really do like the Hondas. I was going to get a 2001 model CR-V, first generation, fully loaded, sport pack, everything. Absolutely every option you can imagine for 12 grand. Very low miles. But that didn't happen, so now I'm playing with these kinds of Hondas. They're a nice engine. I'll get my CR-V and RAV4 and other collectible SUVs one day. Well, she was a bit stubborn, but it came apart. There's oil and crap everywhere, but I found out that what the problem is. The lower compression and oil ring are completely frozen in with clag. Just mucked up and stuck. The top compression ring's still free. Don't know what... Oh, yeah, the ring gap isn't the best. It's probably been doing all the work for the last God knows how many years. Bottom rings are probably fine, but I'm going to replace the lot anyway because it's just worn unevenly. It's really stuck in there. Crank bearings don't seem to have any play in them, but I might do them anyway. It's not my engine, so I'll ask the customer what they're willing to spend on it. Camshafts and governor are alright though. It hasn't suffered lubrication fail, it's just that there's probably rust in the bore. It's actually a bit hard getting the piston out because there's a bit of rust further down in there. Yeah, it's really rough. That'll hone out though. I'll give it a good honing, clean everything up spotless, replace all the rings. That should do it though. There's no real play in the bearings or anything. Obviously an oil change. Yeah, definitely got to get an oil change. Oil seems too thin too, it's very watery. But that's alright though. Oh, that's all for now. It's time to start ordering parts for this thing. Thanks for watching folks.